Hello everyone. How's it going? What's going on? How are you? Am I very quiet? I'll turn myself up a little because I know that when I'm set up like this, I'm a little further away from my microphone. So I'm just gonna bring my. I'm sorry. This is. Wow, my computer has set. I don't know what I sound like. You're not very quiet. I'm perfect. What? Well, thank you, Freak Boy and W. My computer has set its default input device right now for some reason to a microphone I didn't even know existed in the document camera I have set up to show you close-ups of cards. I don't think that's what I'm coming in as here in no, I'm coming in fine in OBS, but that's what my computer has defaulted to. That is such a wild choice. Computers think they know things. Like, I never changed this, so I don't know why it would think that it needed to change. Okay, I have made an adjustment. So, okay. I don't know if that made any change to you, but it should be. I should be coming in the correct microphone. So, mine keeps setting my default microphone to my monitor, which does not have a microphone. Yeah. So my microphone has an output, like a monitor output, where you can plug your headphones into the microphone to hear yourself. And my computer keeps wanting to default my audio output to that. I'm like, this is not, you can't listen to anything. It's literally just a little feedback loop for what you're putting into the microphone. Anyway, computers be wildin', Jamie Dagger says, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. It's so true. How are all of you? Corpdonk wants to know if is it chat? Hi YouTube, by the way. Hi YouTube. Because we're streaming to both YouTube and Twitch right now. Very fun, very exciting. I am feeling mostly better. Thank you so much for that subscription over on Twitch, Manaleek. I appreciate you so much. I'm feeling mostly better, but not 100%. Still, it's been more than 2 weeks now. I still have a little bit of a cough. I'm going to have to probably clear my throat a bunch during this stream. I am so sorry to everyone for needing to listen to that. It's been so difficult to get over this cold. But it is getting better. I'm like a day or two away, I think, from like not having to think about it anymore. Jamie Dagger says it doesn't help that mechanically headphones and microphones are basically the same thing, so I get why the computer has confusion. I hope everyone appreciates. I did a little dress up. I did like 2025's take on the 80s. Not anywhere near as much as the actual 80s, but here we are. Orion says, I have 2 friends that have been sick for a literal month. One has COVID, the other has walking pneumonia, whatever that is. Fun fact, I looked up walking pneumonia in case I had it with this cold, because I was like, this cough is crazy. What could be causing this? Because I had a negative COVID test. So I was like, it's not COVID. And I looked into walking pneumonia. So I don't think I have that. But I'm having a hard time kicking this cold. They can last like 10 days to 2 weeks, you know, which is a nightmare because you can't do anything about it. It's a virus. You just have to let it run its course. It's horrible. Anyway, Legends DM is just working and playing board games. What are you playing, Legends DM? Yeah, Freak Boy says, I was there in the 80s. It was not as neon as people think it was. I think the way we look back on fashion in the 80s is like a very specific kind of 80s fashion, right? That's maybe not the most like how most people dressed. Oh, Sid, I seen that. I mean, that's possible. It says walking pneumonia is what killed Jim Henson, if I recall correctly. I mean, it's just like, yeah, a thing that, like, if you get it, and it's not, like, horrible, it's, like, a mild version of pneumonia, but, like, if you can't kick it, or if you're older, then, you know, if you're an old person, then a lot of things can get you. Grindel's Armor says, Paula, I'm sad to report that I played with your card last week and the big bad wolf had you for lunch. He killed the victim so fast I couldn't do anything. 3 in 1 turn and another 3 2 turns later. That's gnarly. And I understand. I die in this game all the time. So, hi, Paulus. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. I'm glad you enjoyed the playthroughs. Keith M75, hello. Fancy. Thank you so much for gifting that sub. Whose username is Paula is best. Thank you for gifting them that sub. Unless you, I don't know who that is. That's a great username. That's a great name. Ooh, Legends EM, I have Kinfire Chronicles, and I want to check that out soon. If I can get my act together. I definitely want to check it out soon. Yes, Mana Leak. Yeah, that's what I was trying to... Mana Leak is specified, and this is what I was sort of trying to say, but I didn't say it in a very clear way. Walking pneumonia is the same as pneumonia. Difference being it's mild enough for you to walk around. But, like, if you're old, you know, like I said, it can still get you. Sid Icene says, I'm glad Jamie Daggers is here because it means at least one person will get my joke when I say Paula is dressed 100% correctly to promote the new AMP line of Pro Acryl. Is that a paint line? Hi, Foggy Broom. Hi, Soli. Okay. All right. Should we dive in? I think we should just dive into this. We are taking on what is left of the season 3 feature films for Final Girl from the last Kickstarter. As we know, though, they've been releasing now games or feature films outside of like a Kickstarter model. We've already played the Bad Times at Buddyland last month. And now it's time to play our final season 3 feature film. And it is the Falconwood Files. Thank you so much for the bits, Legends DM. Thank you for the bits. If you're on YouTube, this is confusing, but that is okay. Thank you for those bits. I am going to turn our alerts off when we go into the game. But I really appreciate all of you. So yeah, we're gonna play the Falconwood Files. I'm playing with Janelle. Both Janelle and what is the name of the other? Octavia. Oh my goodness, I'm spilling things everywhere. In this feature film have really cool, they both look awesome. Look how awesome Octavia looks. They both have 4 victims to rescue. And then they both have really cool powers. Their special abilities are very similar, but slightly different. Octavia is able to reduce damage you're about to receive, and Janelle is able to increase damage she deals if you get the ultimate ability. So hopefully I will. It's only 4 victims we need to save, and we did really well last time focusing on saving victims. So I'm going to try and save some victims to get that ultimate ability this time. Jamie Doyle, no worries. You don't have to worry about being late. We're taking our time here. We're doing our thing. We're just talking. I do have here. Let me come on over to our setup here so you can all see. I am going to mute our alerts. Hi, Ito. How are you? Oh, just in time for the... well, hold on, everyone. We're going to unmute the alerts because we do have a hype train. Keith has given some bits. Thank you so much for the bits. If you're watching on YouTube, this is a thing that's happening over on Twitch. We have a little hype train. That basically means people who are supporting through little interactions on the stream are like building up a little bar that is trying to fill up, and it's called a hype train, and it's just fun. So we'll leave the alerts on while the hype train is going in case anyone wants to contribute to that. Hey, Crystal, thank you for gifting that sub. Hi, Gameritis guy. Hornus with a watch streak. 175 stream streak. That's crazy. Keith, the tier dice makes such a difference. But once the hype train's over, we'll turn off the alerts and we'll get into the gameplay. Hi, Spirit Wolf. How are you? I really appreciate everyone who's joining in, both Twitch and YouTube. There's a lot of cool things happening in this feature film. Thank you for the follow, Corpo Rat. Thanks for that follow. Appreciate you. Let's talk plans, just in general. So next time I stream, so right before Gen Con, I'm planning to do another bit song, because that's how this works. I am singing about these bits, and it goes along with this tune like this. Thanks, Did I Sing, for those bits. So this is a live stream. I've completely forgot what I was saying. Before Gen Con, I will stream again. And I've got, oh, it's right here. I'll show you what I will stream right before Gen Con. It's the new box, the new feature film. It looks so cool, y'all. This is what I'll talk about while the hype train's going. It's called, the feature film is the location's Mega BG Con. The killer is Mort, the teenage dirtbag. Excuse me for needing to clear my throat so much. Oh, Legend DM, you haven't played this yet, but if you've played a lot of Hostage Negotiator, I think you'll really like this, because I think it smooths out some of the bumps in Hostage Negotiator, having never played it. That's my impression. Demux2in, thank you so much for subscribing with your Prime. Sleeve, seal, resin, the Paula promo to preserve the signature. Yes, 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 exactly. Thank you so much, A Pantaloni, for resubscribing. Appreciate you. So we have this, and it's called, here, let me zoom in on it a little. Shriek. So I wonder what that is a reference to. But basically, the premise of this one, Shriek, is you are at a convention, a la like a Gen Con, which is why it would be fun to play right before Gen Con. And you are trying to figure out who the killer is, because like in Scream, or maybe more specifically like in Scream 2, you have a lot of people who are dressed up as different killers from the Final Girl universe, and you don't know who is just cosplaying and who's the actual killer. And so there's like a mechanic in it, a mechanism. Let me see, which side is it on? I think it's on the other side. Where you're having to basically do like, there's like a little deduction mini game. I'm so excited about it. There's Mort. There's a killer board. Where you are trying to figure out who, look at how, this is a pretty involved little rule book for this one. You're trying to figure out with clues which one of all the different suspects, because you have minis for all the different, let me show y'all. And then we'll get into Falconwood Files. You can see I haven't fully punched this yet. But see, so it's got one of those like red decoder things, which I won't do yet, but I haven't fully opened this, obviously. And then look at all the, so you have all these suspects, and you're trying to figure out, Jamie Doyle, sometimes, you know, you got to sit down your limits, you know, about the number of sausages. Oh, man, Von Blade, that's hilarious. It's misspelt Shrek, and you're gonna get killed by a donkey. That's very funny. So you have all these different versions of the different killers from the different, like here's Hans, from the different boxes, and you're trying to figure out which one is the actual killer. And so you're, like, removing them off the board, I think, as you, like, remove people from the suspect list. I think it's gonna be really cool. So that's what we'll do right before Gen Con. And then after that, maybe I'll do a painting stream where I paint my mini. There's the other one. That's what I'm thinking. Though I know they've just announced another box, so I can't remember what it was. Anyhow, so that's that. I think with all of that being said and talked about, now we have some plans set for the next couple of streams. I think we should talk about this current stream that we're on. Yeah, they all did it, Spirit Wolf. Just like in Horror on the Orient Express. Oh my gosh, I've been doing way too much Call of Cthulhu. Just like in Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, it's an investigation added to the normal game. Exactly, reality. What is the name of the Find the Killer expansion? It's called Shriek. Shriek. Here. That's not really in focus because the focus is down here, but Shriek. And it's got Mort at Mega BG Con. Pretty cool. Spoilers. Look, if you don't know the ending to Murder on the Orient Express now, like, I don't know what to say. Like, I really don't. Okay. I think we should play the game. Let's talk about our game. I am going to. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to this hype train. I really appreciate you. And I am going to mute our alerts now. And let's go. So here we are, the Falconwood Files. We're in the town of Falconwood, going after the Slayer. I'm sure no one can guess what inspired this based on that font and the fact that we're in a small 80s town. There's some really cool stuff happening in this. Oh, this belongs with the Shriek set. Okay, I'll put that away later. Hornist. Jake and Elwood get the band back together, you know? We always hoped that they would. So, where to start? Okay. Let's start with the Falconwood specific rules. How about that? So, it's not too much. It's just a little front. It's really just one page because you've got your components and then a little bit of setup. So, what's cool about Falconwood is you have missions you have to complete. There is a whole stack of them, and you draw, what did I do with them? Here they are. You pick one randomly. I have one picked right here. But you have these different missions: survive the hunt, expose the lab, crack the code, save your father. We will be doing missing friend. And you cannot defeat the killer. You cannot get rid of their final health point until you have completed your mission. If you don't complete your mission, you cannot beat the killers. You've got to do it. So this is a big thing. You also, when you complete your mission, you're going to get a special meeple, a special victim who joins you, a friend who joins you, and they will follow you into the space with the killer. They will be targeted last if they're in a space with other victims. Other victims will be killed before them. This one in particular comes with a spell book we can use. So it's really cool. You add different little stories you have to complete with Falconwood. Hey, Graph or G-Wrath, how would you prefer me to say that? It says, good luck. Not managed to play this one yet. Glad I've caught a live play for once. I'm so happy you're here. Ed Moore says, very strange game setup, I'd say. So for our particular setup, I will just say here's what we've done. So I've set off to the side here. There's glare, but I'll move over. I think it's this one. I'll move these things over when we need them. My card for when I get my best friend, and the spellbook item for when we get that. And then we have this missing friend. We have clues. Here, let me actually put this in our little document camera so you can see. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going around the different locations, on our board here. And during setup, I had these tokens. Here we go. I had these tokens, and they go in all of the named locations that aren't searchable locations. You may assume that the friend is Matthew, said I seen, if you would like. Yes, of course. And so when I go into a space with one of these mission tokens, which all have a letter and number corresponding to what you see here, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. I believe I spend time... I can spend a time to reveal the token if I'm in the space with it. So I spend a little time and do some searching, basically. And then I will put the token that I find on the card here to keep track of when I found an A, a B, and a C. If I find, because there's 2 of each letter, if I find A1 and then later I find A2, I just throw away A2. We've already found one for A. That was just kind of wasted time, right? Once you've got all A1, one for A, one for B, one for C, those things will then, based on here, will then correspond with a specific area of the board. Then we will place our best friend meeple, wherever that space is, let's say it was in the police station, I don't know, on their side until I can go and rescue them. Once I've rescued them, I've got them, I get their spell book, it's going to be awesome, they're going to be my friend forever. And what's very, very cool, particularly about the best friend, is the horror gets reduced to 0 when I have them, and the horror cannot increase while I am with them. So we want to save people and get our best friend ASAP. Oh, Marzipan Beetle, I'm sorry you have bad connection. We'll catch you in the VOD. Oh yeah, Said I Seen says, which reminds me, Matthew's latest Yesland video, Armenia, is up to the usual standard. Great content, A+ dogs and cats met, quality pastry consumed. It's a wonderful video, and everyone should go check it out. Can we use that reduction of the horror to 0 in real life? I wish, Von Blade. I wish we could. Oh, to be clear, to get our friend, this is very specific, we can't just go into the space where the friend meeple ends up. We have to discard any action card that recovers health. So like a short rest, for example. And then that will revive the best friend, complete the mission, and then they are with us. Let's see. If the best friend is killed, though, the horror increases by 4. So that's a big deal. So we need to keep them safe. We also get this spell book, which, y'all, looks very awesome. So discard during the action phase and choose an adjacent space. Roll the d20. So we have a d20 in this setup. Everyone in that space, based on takes damage based on the result. It's so awesome. You're going to do minimum 2 damage, but maybe 4, maximum 8 damage if you roll a natural 20, which is very cool. So this is going to be awesome. So that's our mission as part of the Falconwood location setup. And I'm actually going to leave, I'm probably going to leave this card here. We need to be able to track our progress. So maybe I'll leave that there for now. Okay, so that's Falconwood. We also do have bridges, which we can use to cross the river. There are also these thin blue lines. Those are river crossings. We can only use them if a specific thing on a card or a situation comes up that says we can. Enemies can never use the river crossings. Our exits are here and here. This one's cool because you have multiple entrances to that exit. And then we've got a government lab for searchable location, the police station, and the shopping mall as searchable locations with items. I mean, to be fair, the best friend increasing the horror by a lot seems like a normal final girl mechanic even without the best friend powers, yeah. Just suddenly your horror's increased by 4. It's fine. It's totally fine. You're going to be fine. The horror's just suddenly gone way, way up. Okay, Slayer stuff. Slayer stuff is slightly more complicated because it introduces the mirror dimension, kind of like the upside down, if you will. So, do I have... Hold on. Let me just double check something. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just doing a little double check. So we have the mirror dimension with the Slayer. Now the Slayer is kind of scary. 11 hit points. Yee, that's a lot of health. So what's interesting about the Slayer, who starts here with us, and you see we have these gray meeples. So we have the mirror dimension. The Slayer is in the mirror dimension and cannot hurt our yellow meeples who are in our dimension. This is all being tracked by this card. Actually, let me set it over on the document camera so we can look at it right here. So currently, I am in our dimension, so that's why my token is up on the top part of this card. But if we end up in the mirror dimension, then we track that by moving tokens and other tokens of like our special meeples and things like that, our special victims. We have tokens for them, and so that's how we track where we are, what dimension we're currently in. Put that back over here. Yellow meeples will follow me in our dimension. If we're in the mirror dimension, they won't, because I'm in the mirror dimension and they are not because they're yellow. But these gray meeples are in the mirror dimension. And Slayer, our killer, wants to pull as many victims into mirror dimension as possible because that's where they can kill them. So we're potentially going to be activating mirror dimension stuff. They're going to be pulling in victims and turning them into mirror dimension, and all kinds of things are going to happen. When that happens, I have a little reminder card. One important thing where Slayer can only attack victims in the mirror dimension, it is like mentally connected to me, so it can attack me even if I'm not in the mirror dimension. But I have to be in the mirror dimension to attack Slayer. Now, I can choose to enter the mirror dimension by opening a rift. So we have special cards here for this one called Open a Rift. And basically, this lets me travel to the mirror dimension. Depending on the number of successes I roll, it might cost time and it might do damage because it's very difficult to do. So I have that as a way to be able to control when I am in the mirror dimension. Once I'm in the mirror dimension, I can choose to leave and go back to our dimension just for free, as long as it's not in the middle of an action card. It can't be done while you're in the middle of resolving an action card. Victims who are in the mirror dimension, like this one that starts out with me, I'm using my mini here because I thought it would be fun. They will come into our dimension with me, and then if we're on an exit space, they can be rescued. But if we're on an exit space and we are in the mirror dimension, they cannot be rescued. We have to come into our dimension for them to be rescued. If I'm ever in the mirror dimension during the upkeep phase, I take a damage. So there's kind of a lot to keep track of, I feel like, with Slayer's stuff in this. So help me stay on it. I'll probably be referencing our rules and our little player aids here a fair amount for this one. But hopefully it will all be not too terrible to keep track of. But we'll basically, we'll keep an eye on things, especially when this mirror dimension symbol kind of resolves, which it will every turn. We'll look at the card here and go through it. Could you go through all of that one more time? Tune into Sanity. You just have to watch it as we play. You're just gonna have to figure it out as we go, you know what I mean? Okay. Okay, I think that's all the super important stuff we need to go over with this scenario. I am playing with the tier dice, so if you're not familiar with those, whenever I roll no successes and I have a tier symbol on a dice, I can put a tier token on this card, my tier board, and then I can spin them to get little bonuses. I currently have it set to side A today. Normally I play with side B, but I thought it might be fun to try side A today with slightly different abilities. I can gain a time, I can reroll a die, I can lower the horror. I can add +2 dice for horror rolls for the turn. I've gotten a lot out of side B, where mostly I spend 2 tier to move an extra space, but we're going to see. We're going to see how side A treats us. Oh, Freak Boy, thank you for reminding me. I always forget the first event, and we have not done that yet. So, imagine Paula rolling no successes. That never happened, said Von Blade. Yeah, it is one of the busier scenarios, right, G-Wrath? It's a little bit, there's kind of a lot going on here. Last thing I wanted to point out, I've already done our setup here, and this one, I don't know if you can read it, but it says 4th of July weekend. I had to choose this. I just chose it because it is the 4th of July weekend this weekend. So that's the setup I've done. And then let's see what our first event is to start the game off. Grand opening. Of course, I'm blocking it. This is like a ghostly ghoul type or like a lightning chupacabra. It's like a demogorgon. It doesn't really feel like the demogorgon, does it? I like lightning chupacabra. It's some weird escaped other dimensional monster. Come back, US. All is forgiven. Believe me, you don't want us. We're a mess right now. Thank you, Edmore. I thought 4th of July made sense as well. Yes, it's all very Stranger Things. This is my character, Rolling Reggie, that I'm playing as. Okay. So, 37 minutes in, we're starting the game. I'm going to jot it down so that I can mark it on the YouTube video later. Just gonna make a quick note. 37 minutes. Great. Okay, grand opening. Cover the river crossing of your choice with the bridge token. Those spaces are now adjacent. Alrighty. So we have a bridge now. So let's take a look. I think we should do the one that connects to the exit. Right? We could do this because it's going to be much easier. Oh, there's 3 exits. I only pointed out 2. This exit, and this one. And it's going to be a lot easier if we can get, I think, there are a lot of tokens on this board, to here across the river much more quickly. Because otherwise, we are one... Yeah, that's connected. 1, 2 from here, but 1 from here. I think that makes the most sense. Starlene, hello. I'm so glad that you've made the stream. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. It's so nice to have you here. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Hi, Board Game Bard. Okay, so I think that makes the most sense, and I think that's a very cool event to start the game with. All right, let's go. Okay, so we start with a mirror dimension victim in our space, and then there's one that was in an exit closest to Slayer, and they were tied, so I just stuck them over here. Is Final Girl a must-own game for solo players? This is a sponsored stream, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. And thank you to Van Ryder Games for sponsoring these monthly streams. But I think yes. Yes, it is, personally. I'll let chat tell you, like, what they really think. But I think if you are a solo gamer and you like horror movies at all, and I'm actually not a big horror movie fan, then you should at least check the game out. That's what I think. Yeah. All right. So I have my opening hand of cards here. I don't have open a rift, so I can't do anything about this mirror dimension victim yet because I need to be able to pick these cards up first. I think the name of the game to start is Saving Victims and Finding My Friend. So I think we need to go to spaces with the mission tokens on them and start flipping them over. Farm Girl? And that's a Final Girl. Farm Girls, they're different. Keith, that's funny. Oh, thank you for lurking, Board Game Bart. Anyone who ever wants to just hang out and not chat, you just want to lurk, you're always welcome. Lurkers are very welcome. Lord Horse says, don't own the game, but it sure is fun watching someone play it. Ah, that makes me happy. 5 minutes. Acorn Squash is predicting that 5 minutes from now, I'll go, well, victims are too hard to save. Let's just try and save the friend. I only need 4 of them, and I get my powers. Okay. So there's a lot happening on this board right now. Let me take a look at how y'all see. I realize how much y'all see the top of my head in these streams. Hey, Chopper Dan. Farming Girl is the Uwe Rosenberg version of Final Girl. Someone hit up Van Ryder Games right now. Hop in their Discord if they're in their Discord. This is their April Fools for next year. That's 100% their April Fools post, right? Like, it has to be. Okay, so there is a token here, and it's only 2 spaces away, and I could pick up a victim along the way. There's also this one. Oh, I can't cross there, though. I could only cross here. This is 2 spaces away. I pick up a victim along the way, and it's much closer to an exit. Maybe I try and go up to the school. Because I could try and go this way, but it's harder. It's going to be harder to get them to an exit. So I think we're going to try and go 1, 2, if we can. So that means we need to do a walk first and see what happens. Giraffe says, essential is a horrible phrase, but it's certainly one of the best. The narrative each play creates is brilliant. Most games end up pretty close. And the card time economy is super tight, but rarely oppressive. Yeah. And you can get better at the game. I think I'm proof that you can get better at the game. April Fools should be Final Guy's first expansion. Yeah. Okay. So, let's attempt to walk. The funniest thing we always do in this game, I think. The horror started at 4, so we have 2 dice we're rolling. And I got 1 success, and I can convert the other one. Gosh, I really want to get to that spot. So I think, even though I don't want to blow through all my cards in the first turn, I do want to convert so that I can move 2 spaces. So I'm going to discard Weak Attack and Short Rest to convert this. So if you're new here, see these symbols? It looks like 2 cards. That means you can discard 2 cards from your hand to convert this to a success. So I now have 2 successes, which means I can move up to 2 spaces. This Mirror Dimension Meeple will not come with me because we're not in the same dimension. They can't see me. So I'm going to go 1, pick up this victim. They'll come with me to the school. 2. And that costs me a time. Then I'm going to spend a time to flip over this token. Okay, so that is C2. So we'll put that on our little thing here. And where is our chart? So C2 means last in alphabetical order. The clues will identify a unique space on the board. For example, A1, B1, and C1 would identify the library. It's always a named space. Because otherwise, how would you specify one of these that isn't named, right? It's got to be always a named space, especially when we have a clue like last in alphabetical order. So in this example, A1, B1, C1 would identify the library. A1 is east of the river, so that means this side. B1 is north Falconwood, which is in this half of the board. And then first in alphabetical order would be, I was like, well, best friend's house is first in alphabetical order, but remember, we're east of the river. So between shopping mall, police station, and library. Okay, so that's how that works. So we know it is last in alphabetical order. That's all we know at this point. And I think that's all I'm going to do for my turn. I'm going to wait. I could try and walk again and immediately save this victim. But then I'm not going to have any cards next turn. And I just don't know that that's a good idea. So I think I will just wait a turn. Right? Yes. Yes, that's the choice I'm making. That's what I've done. So I have 4 time to spend on additional cards. I think we should spend 2 on Open a Rift. Let's get one in our hand. And then we have 2 more. And I think we should grab a search. Okay. That's what we did. So now these will go back into the market. And that's my turn. And now we go into the killer phase. So for the killer, I'm glad that chat is... Chat is going through this Uwe Rosenberg final girl scenario, farming girl scenario. Thank you for that sub, Scorched Panda. And yes, I think chat is saying, like, there is a lot of final girl. You do not need all of it. You really don't. Like, pick 1 or 2. Get the core set. Obviously, you can't play without the core box. And I do think Camp Happy Trails is a good starter one because it's the most basic vanilla rule set. And then just pick 1 or, if you like that, pick 1 or 2 other feature films that are a theme that seem interesting to you. And there, you're set. You don't need them all. Because that can be really overwhelming. There's a lot of them. Okay, so we have this symbol. Freak boy, you don't have a problem. You can stop anytime you want. Okay, reminders for the mirror dimension. Oops, no. We want resolving this symbol because it's the first thing in our killer step here. So determine the closest victim in our dimension to the Slayer. Excuse me, to Slayer. It's not Buffy. For a normal victim, replace a yellow meeple with a gray meeple. So it's going to be one of these. Are they closest? Hold on. Because Slayer's pulling 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's 3 away from everyone. I'm not going to have him pull the one that's with me. That's not nice. Is there anything I'm missing? Are there connections I'm missing? Lord Horse, yeah, it depends on the context. 15 unpaid bills? Yes, that's a lot. 15 unplayed and unopened games? That's nothing. Okay, so we're going to the space where there's the most victims. That's how you tie break in this situation, right? So that's this one. So this one, this is so appropriate for our missing friend scenario because someone's going to go missing from the community pool. Also this, I don't know how well you can see this art, but it's very funny to me. So one of these victims gets pulled into the mirror dimension. So this yellow meeple becomes a gray meeple. And then they panic, right? Which makes sense because they have just been pulled into another dimension. We won't worry about any of the other things on this card until they are relevant. So now this victim panics. That's a 5. So they are going to go, they run over here. And you'd think, honestly, you'd kind of think those people will panic too, because I guess maybe they turn around, they're like, blah, 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 and they turn back, and their friend's just gone. So that's what's happened. Then they will target either me or a mirror dimension victim, whichever is closer, and they will attack. But they aren't moving, so none of that's happening. So now that we've resolved that, we'll flip over a tarot card. I feel something evil in this place. If there are no victims on the board, discard. There are victims on the board, plenty. We just started. If there are more victims in our dimension... Well, this is bad. Bad way to start the game. If there are more victims in our dimension than in the mirror dimension, there are, because we just started. We pull 2 victims into the mirror dimension, and the bloodlust goes up by 2. Okay. Cool. Just really cool. So I think these 2 get pulled into the mirror dimension as well. Then. So these get replaced by... Now we're in bad news. If we ever run out of mirror dimension victims to place, then one of them dies. And so bloodlust is going to go up. This is nasty times here. This is going to get out of control real fast, I'm suspecting. Yeah, victims dying for free when you don't have any more gray meeples is not great. Yeah, it's just not good. Hi, Bonzinator. How are you? Hey, Alan Meek. How's it going? Okay. So they panic. So panic 1 goes 4, so 1 goes here, and panic the other one 5, so it runs over here with their friend. There's a token in community pool. Great, great. And then the bloodlust goes up twice. 1, 2. Which means that the horror goes up 1. We might want to deal with that. We need to find our friend. Oh my gosh. This is... How in the world are we going to do this? You know what? I like this. Chronicles of Rage says there's an easy fix for victims dying because you ran out of gray meeples. Buy 2 copies. Double the meeples. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I play so slow on stream, y'all. If you're watching, you're like, wow, this game is so long. It's not. If you're just playing by yourself and your brain is focused, it's not slow. I'm just slow playing it on stream. Okay. We did that. That's the killer. We're not in the... It's upkeep phase. We're not in the mirror dimension. We've panicked the people who needed to panic. It's my turn again. Let's save this victim and use it maybe to lower the horror. And then try and get more clues, y'all. I can also I don't want to open a rift until I'm near a mirror dimension person to try and help them. Because they won't follow me if I'm not in their dimension because they can't see me. We should also get, what's in the shopping mall? A pool noodle. Oh, the pool noodle says you may use the river crossings, but only 1 victim may follow you. That's interesting. Well, let's try and get up to this exit. Bonds, I'm also just still having my coffee. Mayor of Canada says it's so hot the birds are blowing on the worms before eating them. I'm sorry you're having a heat wave. Hi, Crimson Board Games. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Okay. Well, first, let's walk. You gotta walk before you can run. You know what I mean? We just need 1 success here. And we got it. 1 success. I can't even convert this because it's a regular old failure. So there was no option there. So we're going to move to this exit. This victim is saved. We put them on our card. Oops. And I'm going to do the one I think that... Oh, wait. No, I don't have any more. Y'all, I just had a brilliant plan. No, I didn't. Ugh, it would be so good if we had 2 successes. We could have moved 2 spaces. There could have been some really cool stuff, but we can't do it. We can't do it, but that's... Okay. Okay, hold on. I am going to actually put this on move one space instead of lowering the horror, which is maybe I'm going to regret, but I'm going to use that to move. Oh, y'all can't see. I'm going to use that to move into the shopping mall where there are two people who are one space away. Next turn, I can move and I can save them. Okay? Okay? That's the plan. That's the plan. I can save both of them unless they get sucked into the mirror dimension, which they might, actually, because I can't move again. It's fine, everyone. I'm gonna... Everyone look away while Paula double checks her successes. Rob C says, the last time I played the basic Camp Happy Trails. I got totally destroyed. That is me every game. Rob C, don't worry. I'm actually, these people are going to get sucked into the mirror dimension potentially. But, this would have been so good if I had another movement, and I don't have one. But that's okay. Let's try and search. We're going to try and do a search and see if I can get something while I'm at the shopping mall. And look, if I can save these people, great. And if not, I'll come down here and I'll flip over a token. Because we got to find our best friend. All right. So we're rolling 2 dice. See if we find anything good here. That's 1 success. Sadastine says, don't forget to hydrate over on Twitch. So I'm going to have some coffee. Alan Meeks is tier dice. Not sure about everyone else, but I think my tier dice may hate me more than my red dice do. Oh no, Alan. Oh, and Panda Angel said don't forget to hydrate. Sorry, I did miss both of those notifications. More coffee. So I can take the top item card at my space. And this does mean, this is the pool noodle. And so this means I can use river crossings, which means this bridge I placed doesn't matter so much, but it's something. It's something. It's just going to go in my backpack. It doesn't take up a hand. Doesn't look like. Okay. Man, I have like... Oh, I never reset my time. Hold on. What have I done here? I walked for 1 time and I searched for 1 time. So I'm at 4. I think I'm going to try and focus. I know I'm spending all my cards, and I actually think spending all your cards is a bad idea. But I am a little worried about how close we are to the end of this track here. So I'm going to try and focus and see if I can knock us back down 1 on the horror level. So 1 success will do it. Preferably 2 successes because then I'll gain some time back. Come on. Okay, just 1 success. At least I'm rolling some successes. So it will cost me a time, so I only have 3, but the horror will go back down to 4. So that gives me a small buffer here. And then I'm going to stop. I'm just going to hold on to these 2 cards. I get back my free card, so I will get a walk back at least. And I have 3 time to spend. I kind of think I should get a sprint. I think being able to move around the board is going to be really important right now. So I'm going to get a sprint for 2 of those time and a close call for 1. And that's the 3 time I had, so I'll set that back to 6. These cards will go back into the market. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in my hand now. Put that over here in my current hand spot. And that will be the end of my turn, which means we go into the killer phase, and they are going to pull into the mirror dimension. Now, we pick victims closest to Slayer. And that is, of course, unfortunately, the two who are closest to me. So one of them will become a mirror dimension victim, which sucks. But here we are. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Chris, over on Twitch. So this victim will become a mirror dimension victim, and hopefully no more, we don't get another tarot card that wants more, because that's all of them. All of them are on the board now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Now they panic because they've just been pulled into another dimension. 2, they stay where they are, actually. Gosh, it would have been so good if I could have saved those 2 last turn. Chronicles of Rage says, I'd say you're right to make the horror track a priority. Many times I've been wrecked by a chain reaction of horror and bloodlust increases. Chronicles of Rage, I'll say, girl, same. Channeling that meme, right? Like that is, do we have another hydrate? Oh my gosh. Hello, my name is Evan and Hornist have asked me, y'all, I literally have almost no coffee left in this mug. Thank you. Okay. Cool. That's all they're gonna do right now. Because they target and attack, but they can't move. So let's see what our tarot card is, and I hope it's fine. No, y'all. My whole plan is falling apart. Okay. Mirror dimension happens. So let me look at our reference here. If there are no available gray meeples when one is needed, the victim furthest from Slayer is killed to free up a gray meeple to be used. So that's probably this one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we'll just do this one. So they're dead. So the bloodlust is going to go up. Which means this person who I was going to save, I'm going to have to open a rift next turn, basically, and I can still save both of them. But I'll have to open a rift to do it. This could still be okay, actually. If there are no victims in our dimension, you increase the bloodlust. Instead, there are when Slayer... Okay. So that's that. Then, target, move, attack. So they will target mirror dimension meeples before us. Their movement right now is 3. And they're 1, 2 away from here. 1, 2, 3 away from here. So they'll go here because this is closer. 1, 2, and then they will attack, which will kill one of these, increasing the bloodlust, which means I take a damage, and then the horror goes up. That was quite the killer phase. Tantarless. That no howl just reminded me of that one Faster Purple Worm live show. I need to rewatch that. Rewatch it. Enjoy it. This was not good. This was really not great. We're 1 away from the dark power being revealed. Cool. I'm glad people are disappearing. Yeah, that one tarot card did a lot of things. But now we have, on the bright side, we have a gray meeple to access now. So there you go. Abtruby played Lacrimosa last night. Have you played it before? Did you like it? I've played it before. I really like it. Okay. That's the end of that. This person, someone died in this space. So in the upkeep phase, this meeple is going to panic. So 3, they are going to run here. Okay. Now it is me again. Yeah, the tarot card was basically a double killer face. One where they actually were able to move and do damage. Blah. So now it's my turn. Where's my cards? We're going to try and open a rift. Because if I can open a rift and go into the mirror dimension, I can take these 2 meeples and move with them and still save them and still save 2 at once. What does the... Hold on a second. Oh, no. I don't lose... Hold on. I don't lose a health. This symbol means they heal. They don't heal because no damage has been done to them. I was like, hold on a second. I misread that symbol. Because obviously... This is the symbol with the yellow line through it for losing health. Sorry for the glare. Oh my gosh. There we go. You see the difference. Okay. I'm surprised no one in chat said something about that. So it was less bad than we thought. All right. We're going to try to open a rift. How about that? I'm rolling 2 dice still. Give me 2 successes. Then I won't spend any time on this. It did add to the drama. Okay, 1 success. It's not the end of the world. I mean, this works no matter what. It's just whether or not you hurt yourself doing it. It will cost me a time to expend the effort to make it happen. But I'm now in the mirror dimension, which means these mirror dimension meeples, hold on, we got things to do. This token needs to go into the mirror dimension to show I'm here, and now you can see it says, gray meeple will now follow you. Maybe you can't see that it says that. There you go. So, we've done that. That has happened. Now I want to go. I want to go, y'all. Let's walk. I'm going to hold on to my sprint for now. Because technically I only need to go 1 space. If I can move more spaces than that, great. But 1 space, it'll be fine. I'm going to roll my 2 dice. Hey, Geeky Chappy, how are you? Ugh. So that's a fail and a convert. Now I can either take the fail and get a tier dice, or I can convert and do my... I think at this point it's better to convert this. So I'm going to take my short rest and my close call. I'm not going to spend the close call for a reroll because it's probably not going to turn out in my favor. I'm just going to discard them to convert this to a success. So 1 success means I can move 1 space. It costs me a time. So these 2 meeples will follow me into this exit, and then they will run out. Oh, no, they won't. Now we have to leave the mirror dimension, which I can just do, right? I can just leave the mirror dimension. Because I need to be in our dimension for them to leave. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure I just choose to do it. That's what I said before. Which I need to do before the upkeep phase anyway, because I'll take damage. During the action phase, you may return to our dimension at any time, except in the middle of resolving an action. So now we've moved. I now go, come with me. Well, that's true. I can move on a fail. It's just going to take an extra time, and I'll take a damage. And then I would get a tier dice. Hold on. Actually, you know what? That is such a nice reminder. Starling. I'm going to hold on to these cards. I'm not going to discard them to convert that to a success. I'm going to put those back into my hand. And I'm going to take the fail and take the tier token, because I can move up to 1 space. It's going to cost me an additional time, which isn't great, and it will damage me, but that's all right because I can heal when I save these people. And then I hold on to cards in my hand. I think that's a very interesting thing. Oh yeah, Foggy Broom says, walkover sprint is a plus. I've occasionally bricked a turn trying to sprint and failing. Oh, Bonzinator says, I got so scared just now because I heard someone cough in the living room. I walked out there and forgot I had you on low volume on the TV. I'm there. I'm in your house, Bonds. Absherby's talking about playing Lacrimosa. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Yeah, Starling says, I use that as a technique all the time. It's not a bad idea, and I don't mind taking damage, as you all know, because if you get down to just 1 health point, you get an extra die, and I benefit from that. Okay, so I've done that. So now I choose to go back into our dimension, so I move my token back. Now now they become yellow meeples, because we're back in our dimension. And y'all, I said, get out of here. You're at an exit, run away. And they run away. And I put 1 here to lower the horror, and 1 here to heal back the damage I just took. I feel good about that. I feel good about that. Okay, so now what? We could leave the turn just like that. Hold on to these cards this time. Only have 3 time for spinning on stuff. If I stop now, I could try and focus. And try and lower the horror again. You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to try and focus and see what happens. Why not? Let's go big or go home. Okay. Let's see if we can get this horror lower. Maybe I will roll 2 successes. Or I'll roll 2 fails. And lose all the time that I had left. Man. But I will get a tier token. And now I have 2, which means I can spin 1. I know there's glare. To gain a time back. Or I can spend 2 to reroll 1 die. We're going to hold on to those for the moment. So with 1 time to spin, I'm just going to buy this close call to add to my hand. It's fine. That'll reset. I get my 2 free cards. These will go back. I'm going to need to get another Open the Rift card. But I'm glad I had that. That actually kind of worked out to have both of those meeples become mirror dimension meeples, because it meant I could save them at once. Because if only one of them was, I'd only been able to save them 1 at a time. So that actually kind of worked out okay. Okay. Healer phase. He's going to try and suck somebody into the mirror dimension because he loves it so much. It's going to be one of these people. So this happens. They panic. 3. They stay where they are because there's no 3s leading anywhere. So they're just running around the town fair going like, what happened? Where am I? Why is everything gray now? And then target and attack. He's not in a space with anyone. So that's fine. I need one more victim to save. And then I'm going to start focusing on my friend. Okay, tarot card. Let's see what we get. Never-ending attacks. Oh my gosh. Put it on our document camera for y'all. If there are no victims on the board, there are. So, target a victim, move attack. Target a victim, move attack. Good. So this is happening. They're going to do this twice, and it is happening. I think they're going to go here and here. I think that's going to make the most sense because that's where the most mirror dimension victims are. So their movement right now is 3, so they can definitely get there. And we're going to end up revealing their dark power. So they move here, and they kill this victim. The bloodlust goes up. It reveals their dark power. Master plan. When there are 4 or more victims in the mirror dimension. Okay, right now there's 3 and there's only going to be 2, so that's okay. Add the following to the killer action on the finale card. Ooh, when there are 4 more mirror dimension victims, they get a movement. Let me show you this. Focus, focus. See? So, that's kind of nasty, but it doesn't come into play yet. And then they're going to move and attack for their second one on our terror card. So they're going to move here, and they attack this one. These won't panic because they're in our dimension. They don't see this happening. Bloodlust goes up again, which means the horror level goes up 1. So we're back up to 5 on the horror level. Oh, boy. Cool. All right. That's that. I'm in our dimension, so I won't take a damage on the upkeep phase. We don't have anyone to panic because these people didn't see that death happen. We have plenty of mirror dimension meeples right now to choose from. So now I need to try and come over here to save 1 more victim and then forget about the rest of them, honestly. You know what I mean? So I think now is the time to try and sprint. Because 1 success means I can move 2 spaces. I just need to pick up one of these victims. What makes the most sense? Yeah, I'm going to try and sprint first, and we'll just see what we get. Okay. So I'm going to try and sprint. See what we get, and then decide exactly where we're going. Excuse me. Well, I'm just now seeing this. Sorry, Alan Meek, I missed this before. You were saying you spend a lot of time in adrenaline in that like final one health point, and that's it. Yeah, me too. Same. All right. I think I'm going to discard both close calls. How do y'all feel? What's your close call technique? I just think it is so much better to just spin them. Because you're guaranteeing your result. Because if I re-roll, I'm probably just going to fail again. Right? So I'm going to discard both of these to convert this into 1 success to be able to move up to 2 spaces. It's going to cost me a time. Yeah, Starling says spin them. Spend them. Cameritis guy. It'd be really awesome if someone made a short animation of a series of Paula's final girl terms. She tries to sprint, fails, then stumbles. But she tries to focus, fails, and is distracted by a butterfly. Alamink says it's better to spin them, but I tend to need them for rerolls more than I like. Yeah. Close call for both dice only if failures. Yeah, only if straight failures. With a convert fail, I'll reroll the fail with close call and spend if necessary after. Need to be more like the A team, says Rob. See, their plans always come together. So 1 success means I can move up to 2 spaces. And I'm going to come here where this person is. And then I'm going to do my walk and try and see if I can get back to this exit with them. It's not going to be easy. And it might take all my cards, depending on how my dice go. But we're going to try. We're gonna try. 2 successes. I can move up to 1 space, take a damage. I'd love to go 2 spaces. Man, I wish I had my tier board on the other side, because I could spin tiers to move. And then I could do this. I'm going to spin both of my tier tokens to re-roll 1 die. Come on. Be a success. That counts. It's cocked, but it counts. 1 success. Okay. I think this is worth it. We're doing this, y'all. This is crazy. I am going to discard my short rest and my weak attack to convert this into another success. I now have 2 successes, which means I lose a time, but I can move up to 2 spaces. I've saved my final victim, and I will not be crazy with my cards anymore. This is wild. I have 1 card left. It's not smart, but I think it might be a sacrifice worth making. So, what this means is we're going to move. Let me discard these on the bottom. Up to 2 spaces. So we're coming back to this exit. 1, 2. This victim is now saved. Yeah, that feels worse than 2 straight failures. 2 discard phases. So I'm going to come over here to my final go card. I save my final victim. It lets me take a guard card, so that's something. That's cool. Now we flip this over to my ultimate ability. I did it, y'all. I got my ultimate ability. That never happens. Okay. This is very cool. Let me show this on the document camera so y'all can see it a little better. Let me get a tracking token. Okay, so this says, place a tracking marker on the 0 value. After resolving a fail result on a horror roll or saving a victim, move the marker 1 space to the right. When resolving an action card that deals damage, you may increase damage dealt by the number on the space with the marker and then return the marker to the 0 value. So now when I roll fails, I go up on this and it's going to make me stronger. I'm going to learn from my failures. Ooh, the slingshot does look very cool, Foggy Broom. So, put this on the 0 value and see if we can build up some power through our failures. Okay. Von Blake said, this is a near miracle considering how it usually goes. I know, me saving people, this is crazy. All right. So I have 4 time left to spend. I'm going to get my free cards, a focus and a walk. So I have a guard, 2 focus and a walk, and I have 4 to spend. Now it's time to focus on my missing friend. That's the next big thing. Yeah, Tune Into Sanity says, we're failing powerfully. So there you go. Movement is going to be important again. Because we need to get to where these tokens are to figure out where my friend is. So I'm kind of thinking, where's the slingshot? The slingshot? Jeez. Where's the slingshot? It's in the police station. So if I get a sprint and a search, I could come down this way toward these tokens and maybe stop and search in the police station. Okay, that's going to be my plan. So 2 of my 4 times spent on a sprint and 2 of my 4 times sprint on a search. I have not gotten to open a rift. I am going to need to save people because it's not going to take long for there to be 4 or more victims in the mirror dimension. which is kind of nasty. Okay, I'm gonna put these cards back where they go. And that is the end of my turn. So it's the killer phase. Sorry for all of this that keeps happening, y'all. I just can't kick this cold. Chronicles of Rage says, Janelle's a beast when you charge up that ability. Her and Cassie are probably the biggest damage-dealing final girls. Y'all, we're going to do this. We're going to win. I like the small incentive the final girl games provide with open only when you win with the character envelopes. It's what keeps me going. That's so funny. I often cheat and just open them anyway. Because I'm not going to win. That's just the truth, okay? Okay. We're pulling into the mirror dimension, closest victim to him. There's 2 in Slayer's space, so this one will go and become in the mirror dimension. They panic. That's a 6, so they run to this exit. I mean, that's something, I suppose. And then they target an attack, but there's no one in their space in the mirror dimension, so they cannot. So let's see what kind of a terror card we pull. Oh, interesting. Were you 2 in the changing room the whole time? Place 2 new victims at the community pool. And then draw an event card. That is very interesting. Jacob, yeah, I'm still a little bit ill. I'm mostly better, but I'm not 100%. Hey, JD Bestis, how are you? Ed Morris says, Paula out here being truly honest. Okay, so let's pull our event card. Bridge repair. No! What? Place the under construction token on a bridge of your choice. Well, these are bridges. We do have this bridge as well, which I haven't used at all. That bridge can no longer be used for the rest of the game, and the spaces it was connected to are no longer considered adjacent. Ick. Well, we had kind of a good thing and now a bad thing. Okay, so here's our under construction token. Gosh, I don't know what to put this on. I could just put it on the one I gave us. Well, we need this. I'm not going to put it on that one because that one's pretty handy, I think. Ugh. I think I might do this one. So we can no longer go between the school and that space. The dice karma has been a war all this time. I've only opened some of those envelopes immediately, Gamer and Sky. Not all of them. Chronicles of Rage says, I will say one of my favorite Paula moments was when someone asked, have you tried cheating? And she replied, yes, I have. No hesitation or humility. Acorn Squash, I did it! I saved the victims! Pretty exciting. Pretty good for me. Okay. So that's that. I'm in our dimension, so I don't take any damage during upkeep. No one panics. So now it's my turn again. That could have been a much worse killer phase, for sure. All right. Let's see if we can get a slingshot and look at more. Look at more tokens. Yeah. So I am going to. I'm going to try and sprint again. David Phillips, you and me are the same. I'm the level of gamer where I cheat in solo games, still manage to lose, immediately dub the game broken. Reality, I've not forgotten about the best friend. I just decided it was important to focus first on the victims and then get my ultimate ability and then go after my best friend, which is what I'm doing right now. Oh, I'm trying to sprint. Oh, boy. Do I convert or do I power up my ability and take a tier die? Because I could just take a damage and lose 2 time and be like, well, that's that. I do still have a walk. I am going to... So here you can see, we can either, at no successes, move up to 1 space, take a damage, lose 2 time, and end your turn. That's it. That's all you do. Or I could take a damage, lose 2 time, and try and do something else. I think I'm going to do this bottom one. I'm not going to convert anything. I'm going to take a tier dice, or excuse me, a tier token for not having a success. I'm going to go up 1 on my power marker here because I had a no star result. I'm going to take a damage. I'm going to lose 2 time. But now I'm going to see if I can move a little bit, and I'm going to attempt to walk now. Aw, Gameritis guys, I just want to randomly thank you for these Final Girl streams. If anything, they get me motivated to play them more often. Like now, I literally ran to a random feature film to play. That's awesome. Sir Squishy, thank you for the follow and subscribing with your Prime over on Twitch. Appreciate you. And also, you can also thank Gameritis guy if you want to thank anyone. You should really thank Van Ryder Games because they sponsor me to play this every month, and it's incredibly supportive of them, and I really appreciate it. So go check them out, everyone. How do I feel about the brand Dice Hate Me Games? I don't know if I know any of their games, Shady Bestest. What kind of what games do they make? Okay. Let's walk. Let's walk. We can do this. Before you can run, you have to walk. I said it again. I said it before. I'm saying it again. I can roll 2 successes right now. I didn't, but I could have. Now, if I convert this, I can end up in the police station. You know what? This is crazy. I keep saying this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to convert. I'm going to spend my 2 focus cards. I'm converting this to a success. I now have 2 successes. I will lose a time, but I can move up to 2 spaces. Boop, boop, which puts me in the police station. And I will wait to search next turn. I will hold on to my guard and my search cards. And I will end my turn there. So I have 3 time to spend. I get my free cards back. Because I'm going to search here, and then I'm going to try and come over here and look at this token. I've got to... I really hope I don't find another C. Like, if I find duplicate letters, it's going to be such a bummer. Okay, 3 to spend. I think I should get Open a Rift. Because I need to start also thinking about trying to help some of these mirror dimension. Maybe get them out of the mirror dimension, even if I don't get them to an exit. So I'm going to spend 2 on Open a Rift, and then the one I have left on the Close Call. That's my 3. These will go back to the market. And it is the killer phase. So there are only 3 victims in the mirror dimension, so we don't have to worry about the dark power activating right now, because that happens when there are 4 or more. So next turn it will happen. Because he's now going to pull this victim into the mirror dimension. So now there are... Oh no, it's going to happen now. Does this automatically trigger? I bet it does. 2. This victim doesn't panic. Oh no, they're going to die. They are going to die. Because here's the thing. Well, now wait a minute. If it automatically triggered, then it would automatically de-trigger as soon as there weren't 4. Thank you for the follow, chow time. When there are 4 or more victims in the mirror dimension, add the following to the killer action on the finale card: target, move, attack. It doesn't matter right now if it triggers or not, because Slayer doesn't need to move to be able to attack. So we'll say it triggers because there are now 4. It would add a move and then attack, which he doesn't need to use because he's in a space with a mirror dimension victim. So this mirror dimension victim will die, which will increase our bloodlust by 1. So he's now moving 4 and doing an attack damage of 4, which isn't great. That would one-shot me, everyone, because I only have 4 health right now. I only start with 5. And now we flip over a tarot card. Oh, boo. Interdimensional focus. Whenever you resolve mirror dimension action on the finale card, immediately resolve it a second time. Well, that's bad. That's going to escalate. I need to do some damage to him so I can get rid of that. Ugh! Stupid minor dark powers. Okay. I don't think the killer is attacking twice per turn. I guess, here's a question. I guess I was interpreting this as you're just adding a movement to what they're already doing. Are you saying they are attacking in their space and then they are also targeting, moving, attacking as an additional thing? The wording is, when there are 4 or more victims in the mirror dimension, which there were before he killed, add the following to the killer action on the finale card. Target, move, attack. So do we think that means this happens and then this additionally happens? In my head, I was like, oh, it's just adding the movement. But I guess what y'all are saying makes sense. But again, then here's the question. There are no longer 4 victims. So I guess it holds true for the entire killer phase. Well, if that's true, then I guess he moves here and kills this person and the bloodlust goes up again and they would heal, but they've not taken any damage. But it won't happen next turn because there's only 2, except this is going to happen twice. Chat, why do you make the game harder for me? Why do you make me follow the rules? Yeah, as soon as it kills the first, it vanishes from the card again. I don't know when I'd read it as add it while there are 4 and 4 only. So then that means that this doesn't trigger because it killed the 4th one. So now there aren't 4, so it doesn't get the extra thing. Y'all, I don't, what do you want from me? How you want me to play this? And don't just say like that, because I don't know what you're referring to. Type in chat exactly what you think. This is the finale card. It's just not flipped over. So double attack, but only when there are 4 still on the board. So we've got disagreements. It says when, not at the start of or at the end of. So only when, I think once you add it, it's there for the rest of the phase. We need Van Ryder games. Okay, so here's what you do. There's some ambiguity. So we need to decide for ourselves how we're going to interpret this. And the rules of the game are, when you have an ambiguity and you're not sure, you either do what is worse for you, what is the funniest, or what is the most thematic. And then that's how you apply ambiguous rulings for the whole rest of the game. I tend to go with what's the most thematic or what's the worst for me. Here's the thing, it kind of washes out, right? Because if they move and kill now, if we say it is there for the whole phase, then next turn, there's only 2 left on the board. We'll say it's there for the whole phase because I actually think that's worse for me, and we'll say anything that's worse for me is what we'll go with for ambiguity this game. Also, he's going to get 4 next time because of the minor dark power. I need to do 2 damage to him. We're not having any victims left on the board pretty soon anyway. I like that. Hello, my name is Lemon says, I always go for most funny because I love horror comedy. I usually go with like what feels like what would actually happen in a horror movie. But this is what I've decided. When there are 4 at the start, it'll last for the whole phase. Okay. That's the ruling. We need to pull a tarot card. Which we'd not done, right? Yes? Yes, because this tarot card is from last turn. Oh, Starling, I normally put the heart tokens on when I deal the damage, and once I have them both filled, I take it off, right? Rather than putting them on there. Either way, I'll put them on there when I guess it doesn't matter. I'll don't know what I normally do. I was planning to put them on once I'd done the damage, but I'll put them on there now and remove them. That makes more sense. Okay, tarot card. Hey, Timon, how are you? What is this place? If there are no victims on the board, there are. If there are victims in our dimension, there sure are, then resolve a mirror dimension action on the furthest victim instead of the closest. That's this one. So they become a gray meeple. They panic. They roll a 2. They stay where they are. I've been rolling a lot of 2s on the panic dice. And then the killer will target, move, and attack. This is so bad. I think they're going to target this one because it's closest to me. He can get there. He has a movement of 4. 1, 2. He kills this one, which means the bloodlust goes up. He now does 5 damage when he attacks. Bad news. Bad news, everyone. Okay, we're moving on. I don't know if I've done everything in this phase, but we're moving on to the next phase because that's where we're at. If I've missed anything, I missed it. Okay, so it's my turn. I'm not in the mirror dimension, so I won't take any damage. I would like to search and do damage to this thing. The slingshot does have a range of 1, so if I can get the slingshot, that could be very helpful. But it can only modify a weak attack or a fury strike, and that's it. Okay, let's search. So I want the slingshot. I just need 1 success. Give me 1 success. That's not a success. Well, I could take the top item card. The horror will go up by 2, which would be very bad. And I would lose 2 time. Or I can discard short rest and close call to convert to a success. I'm going to do that. There are some benefits to failing. Obviously, I would go up here. I would gain a tier thing. But the 2 horror, I would do it if the 2 horror wouldn't put me here. I just think that's... I think that's very bad. I'm only rolling 1 die. I don't think that's worth doing, and I don't want to. So I think that's going to... I don't think that's worth the balance of the things I would gain by allowing that to be a fail. So I'm going to discard 2 cards to convert that to a which means I spend a time, but I get to take the top item card of my space, which is the slingshot. So this will go in my hand. It takes both hands. It has 3 uses, though I can recharge it. And now I'm going to use my weak attack and see if I can do 2 damage to Slayer, because that means I can get rid of this minor dark power, which I think is really important. So, yeah. I just need 1 success for this to work. Now, I've said that before. It's still true. Give me 1 success. Why does this happen to me? Oh, this sucks so bad. Because he's going to attack me next turn. And it'll kill me. Oh my god. I don't think I'm doing a very good job with my hand management. I'm going to get rid of Walk and Open a Rift to do a success. I need to get rid of this minor dark power. I just really think that's more important than taking the fail. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. I only have 1 card in my hand. It's not great. But 1 success means I will take a damage, but I will deal a damage. And with my slingshot, I will deal an additional damage. Which means I do 2 damage, which means this minor dark power is gone. He will, if he's closest to me, I'm pretty sure Slayer will come to me next. So because I see what you're saying, Starling, but the action here is target final girl or victim, and I am closest to. He will not target. Victim's not in the mirror dimension. I'm 1 space away from him. He'll come after me next turn. You think the on-screen chat... What? I don't know what's going on. Oh. It's going real bad. It's going real bad. A reverse final girl, I think, would be hilarious. During the killer phase, the victims accidentally kill themselves. Well, that's kind of what happened when I played the, what was it, like the Visitor from Tomorrow or whatever, the like Terminator one. What's going on with chat? It has the wrong names next to what is being said. What are y'all talking about? All I see is a lot of people saying Kestrel's name over and over again. Do we need to, like, refresh? All right, let me do some refreshing. I'm getting rid of the minor dark power. I'm getting rid of these extra things here. Everything's gonna go funky for a moment with the screen capture. Just bear with me. Okay, it's still doing it. I don't know why it's doing that. We will just stop capturing the chat, and I apologize for people watching on YouTube later who won't be able to see what's going on. It's not actually capturing all the correct things anyway. So I apologize, everyone, for that. I don't know why it's not working. Let me turn that off. It is cool that Kestrel's name is being repeated over and over. That's very funny. It's just I'm capturing the multi-chat. It's a Stream Elements thing where I can capture both the chat on Twitch and YouTube, which helps me see what everyone's saying all at one time. But it seems like it has messed up, so we've closed that. closed that. Alan Meek, thank you for feeling my pain. Appreciate you. Okay. So we got rid of the minor dark power, and that's something. Is it good enough? I don't know. We've got to get our friend, and everything's just kind of a mess. But at least I didn't spend any time. Is there time I should have spent that I didn't? I got the search. That's it, because these were all cards I had to discard for converting successes. I will let more failures be failures, but I just really felt like it was important to not go into this level of horror and also to get rid of that minor dark power. So that's the choice I made this time around. Okay. I will pick these up. Before I put these back, I should make sure I spin. I have 5 to spin. That's pretty good. Oh, I can't damage him. Oh, y'all. I can't have done that. I'm not in the same dimension as him. So I actually cannot have done that. I would have had to have... So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to undo. I did not apply my ultimate power when I attacked. So I'm not going to undo all of this because it's too much to go back and do. But you should know that what I did was not correct in the rules. I cannot attack Slayer if I'm not in the mirror dimension. And I can't have done the attack and gone into the mirror dimension because I spent my Open a Rift card to convert my attack to a success. So I would be like, oh, I'll just spend it and say I did that. I can't because it's a whole thing and I don't want to go back and redo it. So just so you know, you have to be in the mirror dimension to attack Slayer, unless the only way you can do damage to Slayer when you're not in the mirror dimension is through a defensive ability, like reactive or retaliate. So I cannot have done that. So just so you know, that was not correct playing. But it's too much to go back and redo, so I'm not going to. There you go. What I will do is spend 5 time to get something. And I think that is going to be... I need more movement. So I'm going to spend 2 on a sprint, 2 on another guard, and 1 on a close call. These were discarded. Yes. I can't play the Open a Rift right now because I spent it reality. So this is the decision I've made. This is how we're doing it because it's too complicated otherwise. All right. That was my messed up turn, but you all know what I did wrong. So in the YouTube comments later, don't come at me and tell me I know I did it wrong. And I've explained it to you now. Okay, so now we need to do the killer phase. We're playing very slowly. We have 4 tarot cards left, so I'm going to try and pick up the pace a little here, everyone. And actually, that's going to start happening because we're pretty high up on the Bloodlust track anyway. So there are not 4 more victims in the mirror dimension, so we don't have to worry about the master plan. But you will pull someone into the mirror dimension, and it's going to be one of these people at the community pool. They panic. So that's a 1. People keep not moving out of their spaces, which is very funny to me. So that... nothing happens there. And then they will target and attack. Oh, but they won't, because there are not 4 on the board, they won't move to me. So we're okay for now. But let's see what happens when we flip over a terror card. Bye, JD Bestis. Happy 4th of July. Okay, let me flip over this tarot card. Oh. Remember what I was just saying? It's after me, actually. So it's going to target me specifically, move, attack, and raise the horror. So I might die now. I really want to solve the puzzle and save my friend. I don't want to die. So it moves and it attacks me, it will do 5 damage, which will straight up kill me. So I need to play a guard card. And hope to get a success here. Death comes for all in the end. Okay, 1 success. I will reduce the damage by 2, which is still 3. So what I'll actually do is play a focus and a close call to convert that to a second, a second success to ignore all damage. Jeez Louise. Take that, Slayer. I live a little longer, and the horror goes up to level 6. Hello, Raiders over on Twitch. Welcome in. Thank you so much for that raid. I'm Paula. We're playing Final Girl. It's so nice to see all of you. Okay, that's the killer phase. I'm not in the mirror dimension because I didn't go there. And, oh my gosh. I gotta save my friend. It's gonna be so hard to do. At this point, because, like, I'm gonna get killed. Okay, I will, no, I spent these on my, okay. I will sprint to try and get to some tokens to flip over. Oh, Thea, oh, wonderful. Sorry, I'm seeing Zoidberg for Prez. Oh, my goodness. Hello, I love your games. Theo, I'm going to say your last name wrong. Riviere? I love the games you work on. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm getting just walloped here. I'm getting totally destroyed as usual by the killer in Final Girl. Hello, thank you so much. Thank you, Theo, for that raid. And thank you. I know someone in the Twitch chat has dropped a shout out for Theo Sasha. Everyone go check out and give that channel a follow. What were y'all up to over there? Okay. I'm trying to sprint. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to see if I can focus in here. 2 dice still to roll. I sound French to you. Reality, do you hear that? Theo says I sound French to him. Reality is also French. Alright, I will take this as a fail. I'm going to get a tier token, and I'm going to move up 1 on my damage tracker so I can do a +2 additional damage. The reason I didn't activate this when I attacked before, which again I should not have done because I was not in the mirror dimension, is because when you do it, you spend it. And so I want to build up to a point where it's going to be really useful. It doesn't just roll over every time. I feel like in the past, Reality, you've said, you know that my friend is not that good. So with a fail, I take a damage, lose 2 time, and move a space, but it ends my turn. I'm never going to save my friend. It's never going to happen, y'all. I will do it, though. I'm going to take a damage. I'm going to die. I'm going to lose 2 time. I move 1 space closer to one of these tokens, and my turn ends. I have 3 to spend. I still have a guard in my hand, so that's good. Honestly, I kind of think, like, should I get a distraction or an improvise? Am I going to have any movement in my hand? I'm going to have a walk, short rest, weak attack. I need to be able to open a rift. All right, I'm going to get open a rift and a close call for my 3 time. Ugh. I think something that I struggle with in this game is like just managing there's so many tasks to accomplish. I think I struggle sometimes with like managing them all. I think maybe I'm a little ADD for it. Your horror level's at 7? Gameritis guy, why? Let me count my cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're good. Your hand limit is 10. That's the end of my turn. And so Slayer's going to go. There's only 3 mirror dimension victims. At the start of the phase, there are 3. We're just going to pull one in. And it will be, this is the closest one, who will panic. A 1. I keep rolling so low on these panic rolls, so they stay there. But then we are saying this activates. I'm really disappointed. I really wanted to do more of this mission. And I really thought I was doing like the right thing, focusing on getting my ultimate power and then do the mission. But the problem is I've gotten really stuck now and I can't get what I need to get the mission going before the killer's just going to kill me. And now this master plan activates. So target attack, the first one doesn't happen, but the second one does. Now target move attack. Again, I'm closest, so I think he's coming into my space. Let's just double check that I'm thinking about this correctly. Target closest victim or final girl. That's what it means, and I'm closest. So he comes into the space with me. Thank you so much, Theo, for the raid. Run off, do what you need to do. Really, really appreciate it. It's really nice to say hi to you and see you, and I appreciate you and the work you do. Yeah, worst case scenario, you need to uncover 5 of 6 tokens, too. If I uncover this one and it's C again, bleh. This is tough. This is really hard. Hi, Icarus. Okay, so he's going to try and do 5 damage to me, and I only have 2, so I need to block all of it. So I'll play my guard card, and maybe I'll roll 2 successes. I haven't rolled 2 successes, I don't think, the whole game. And I sure didn't still. I'm going to spend my 2 tier dice, and I'm going to re-roll this one. Give me a success. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Well, I will close call and short rest convert into a success then, so that I can ignore all damage and not die, live another turn. But let's see what happens, because I have to pull a tarot card. People are disappearing. So we have a mirror dimension. No, I can't. I think I'm about to die. So a mirror dimension. So our last R dimension victim becomes a mirror dimension victim. They panic. They run this way. Then this says target, final girl, or victim, whoever's closer. I'm in the space with them. Doctor, is it me? Says, thanks for an entertaining game. I'm glad it's been entertaining. They don't need to move. They will attack. I have no way of blocking it. And so I will take all the damage. Let's see if I have anything left. Because the game's not over if I have health on the other side of this token. I sure don't. Here's what I would like to do. So I have died. I've died. I've been defeated. It's happened. I didn't get to find my friend. I really wanted it to. Zachary Kaminsky says, love Final Girl. Sorry I'm late to the party. Just found this stream. I'm so glad you're here. No worries. If you want, this will stay on YouTube. So you can catch up. You can watch all the other ones that I have on the YouTube channel. And you can go back to the beginning and watch this whole thing. Spoiler, though, you know what happens. Oh no, Rob C says, wow, this is exactly where I was when Hans destroyed me. Uh-oh. So if I had made it to here, let's see if we can figure out where my missing friend was. Man, y'all, if I could have found her, the horror level would have gone down to 0 the whole game as long as she was with me. Would have had this cool spell book. I just couldn't make it happen. I saved the victims. but I wasn't able to do both. I wasn't able to save victims and flip over the tokens. It's really tough. Yeah, I don't know, like, I think it was good to save the victims and flip over the ultimate power, though I wasn't able to use it. But, like, I don't know if I should have just focused on my friend first. Foggy Broom, you just need to be in the space with the token, and then you spend a time to do it. So it's not really that hard to do. And sometimes we didn't have any of these. Oh, here's one. So this tarot card, the indecision's bugging me. Some cards will tell you to lose progress or gain progress. With this one, if you gain progress, I could just reveal a random token and see what it was. Losing progress, though, means I would have had to take this off. So that's a real bummer. That is a real bummer. And yeah, look at the killer health. I was nowhere near being able to win this. But if we had gotten here and spent the time, we would have gotten A1. Okay. Which would have said east of the river. So it would have been on this side and last in alphabetical order. And then let's say I probably would have come down to here. And if I'd done that, A2, this would have been a waste. We already had an A. So then we probably would have tried to come here. B1. Okay. So she would have been east of the river, north Falconwood, and north is... goes just below the police station. So we would have had police station, library, or shopping mall. And it was last in alphabetical order, so that would have been shopping mall. So our friend Meeple then would have been laid down in the shopping mall, and we would have needed to go there, discard a healing card, like a short rest, and then we would have had her. That is not easy to do. That's so much. It's not easy to do. My friend was just at the Cinnabon at the shopping mall. Honestly, it makes sense, you know? David Phillips is still waiting for a promo card that says, try reasoning with them. You get one shot with no mitigation or rerolls. Have to roll every die in the game and get total success. Only use a pull upon death as a last-ditch counter effort. That would be a great promo card, David Phillips. Oh, there we go. There we had it. Well, everyone, we did our best. We were so far from winning. I tried so hard. I tried to be good. And it didn't work. I'm just going to turn off the multi-chat capture. It's easy. You just need to not miss your sprints. Honestly, so I tried the side A on the tier board this time. I'm not doing that again. I highly prefer side B. Because side B, you spin 2 and you can move a space. And what a lot of times bogs me down in the game is failing those movement rolls. Because then your momentum to actually achieve things falls down, right? You lose it. So I think if I had had this on side B, we would have been in a better position. And I think this has proved to me that I prefer side B on the tier board. And that's probably the one I'll use. In my opinion, it's extremely difficult to beat a scenario on the first try because you don't know what to expect from the event and tarot cards. That's a really good point too, Aito. That's a really good point too. Yeah, just roll successes next time, says Acorn Squash. Easy. Well, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this. We're going to say goodbye to our friends over on YouTube. I will throw up an end screen, but if you're watching on Twitch, stick around because we'll chat a little bit longer on Twitch, and then I'll send off a raid to another channel. So, thanks so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Alan Meek, I will always blame the dice. It is their fault. Even with the tier dice. It is their fault, you know? Okay, everyone. Thanks so much. I'll see you later in a couple weeks. We'll play Shriek right before I go to Gen Con, a good convention Scream-themed scenario. So stay tuned for that right before Gen Con at the end of the month. And I'll see you for that. Thanks so much, YouTube. We'll see you next time. Bye.